In Hawaii, kids say they want to be a professional football player and everyone's like, okay, great. And I say I want to be a professional surfer and people look at me like that's not a job. My name is Ezekiel. I'm a professional surfer from Honolulu, Hawaii.
You look at him and he just has this presence of this strong, powerful Hawaiian. Even in surfing, Hawaiians are known for their powerful approach.
Me and my wife met surfing.
I was 12 and he was 15. We were both just little surf rat groms hanging out at the beach.
I like to say she's my teacher and my student, and she's everything I need her to be, and she's always by my side. And I got my wife's initial right behind my ear and our wedding date right here. I was 15 years old when I got my first tattoo, and it was actually a symbol of King Kamehameha, who was the king at the time, and he united all the Hawaiian Islands.
When you grow up in Hawaii, they teach it in schools. It's part of like the curriculum to learn about Hawaiian culture and the language.
I'm really proud of my people and my culture, and that's why I have the tattoos that I have. The tattoo on my leg is called an alaniho, and it's done the traditional way where they do stick and poke, or they call it tap. The process was just really cool. That's what made it my favorite one, where I got to do research on my whole family genealogy and go as far back as I can. The different designs represent the different places where your families come from. I wanted a tattoo from this guy for a long time, but he said this was the first one I had to get from him because that's just the way they do it.
I really love his sleeve. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's become a part of his identity, like really recognizable.
I've worked my whole life to qualify for the tour, which is the World Surf League, and it's a tour of 32 surfers that travel to the best spots in the world and compete in 12 events, and at the end of the year, they crown a world champion.
He didn't come from a surfing family, and Zeke's family was helping to push him as a competitive surfer, and that was his goal. I didn't really understand how he was supposed to get there. A lot of professional surfers never make it to that level.
I think it's one of the hardest sports to do competitively just because there's so much out of your control. I'm competing against time, I'm competing against the ocean, and I'm competing against the other guy, and 5 judges decide whether I win or lose. It gets a little stressful at times because I probably can't go to the next one if I don't do good in this one.
He was definitely happy to be there, but was scared to lose it.
Came down to the last event of the year where I needed to win the event to re-qualify myself for the World Championship Tour. I made the final. I was on my way to doing it.
He came in from the heat and just destroyed his surfboard.
I get second and I fall off the tour.
He was punching his board, ended up in tears, just the lowest of lows that you could possibly imagine this big, strong man to be in. Everything that he had feared falling off tour and that dream slipping away happened.
A lot of people, when they fall off, they don't make it back on. It's a really hard task to do.
It was the only time since he was 18 where he got a break to really just spend a summer at home.
We got to form our life together, which wasn't really happening when I was always traveling and chasing contests and on the road so much.
He got to go on trips for fun. He had a break to focus on his inner self and not worry about competition for a little bit.
It was just really refreshing, and it brought me back to what I really enjoy in life, and it's just being around the people that I love.
The best piece of advice that I would give him is to just be grateful that he's able to do what he loves.
I came back and I was like, all right, I'm ready to get back to work. I started training and I hit that hard, and COVID hits. So I have another year to process and get stronger, and I started getting better at what I do. When you fall off tour, you got to go through what they call a qualifying series. The worst part about it is they don't really care to get good conditions in those events. They just have set dates where they run it. I mean, when you're showing up to events and there's just a pop-up tent on the beach and you're competing in waves that are pretty much hitting your ankle, it's hard to call yourself a professional athlete. Surfing is one of those rare sports that you have to be perfectly balanced everywhere in your life. I just had to put my mind somewhere else. I'm doing this to get myself back there and block everything out and make it happen.
When he did get back on tour, yeah, it was a really big moment for him, and I think a dream come true. He doesn't have that same cloud of fear that maybe this could be taken away, because it already was taken away and it was fine.
I had to get through a lot of emotion, personal and in my career, so that was probably the best, worst thing that ever happened to me.